Kelly McCorkle Parkison might be a very familiar name to you, especially if you remember, what was it, season 7? Was it season 7?
It was, season 7.
Of this show right here, The Amazing Race. That was quite the journey for you.
It was. It took me to 11 different countries all over the world.
That's crazy. I couldn't even imagine. Okay, I'm wondering, let's take a trip back in time. Let's get the kickoff with Phil on when this moment happened in the show.
The world is waiting for you. Good luck. Travel safe. Go!
This is the time in the season when you guys took off on your race to go through 11 countries. What was going on in your mind during that time?
Right when he said go, I just remember thinking, what am I doing? I had never traveled out of the United States before, and so I was pretty excited just to go on this adventure, and I'm pretty competitive, but I just remember when he said go, and right before you film the show, they kind of sequester you from everybody that's on there, so we literally all just kind of walk out of these dark vans, together, haven't seen each other before, and you're just standing here not allowed to talk to anybody, and so that's just in my mind. I thought, what is about to happen?
Yeah. Miss South Carolina?
Yes, 2002.
What was that like for you?
That was an amazing opportunity that I just feel so blessed that the Lord just gave me in my life, and it just afforded me the opportunity to really be an ambassador for our state, but also just to promote a platform that's very near and dear to my heart, which is learning disabilities, because I struggled with learning disabilities growing up, and so just to be able to share in our schools all over the state and just to try to inspire kids that they can finish school and that they can be successful even if they have obstacles in their way. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience that year.
Taking a trip back to The Amazing Race and all these countries that you traveled in, you experienced some cool things. You even popped on a camel.
Oh, yeah. I got to race a camel in India. One of my other things that I loved doing was I actually drove a double-decker bus in London through an obstacle course. That was, in fact, my son just thinks that's the coolest thing ever. He wants me to take him to London and drive a bus.
That's crazy.
Was there one country that you thought, I don't really want to go back there?
Well, it was actually India. We went, like I said, to 11 different places, and I really loved each experience and really wanted to go back one day and visit each place. But I came home and I told my parents, I'll never go back to India again. Once in India was enough for me.
And it seems like God had different plans for you.
Yes, he did. As I always tell people, you should never say never, because just I think it was about a month or maybe just 6 weeks later that I received a call from a professor at North Greenville University, which is where I had just finished school, and asked me to help go on a mission trip because a tsunami had hit India. And I just really had to pray about it, but I felt the Lord was telling me to go back, and man, my heart really changed for that country after that trip.
How did he change your heart?
Well, because we were doing tsunami work, we were obviously holding orphans a lot because families had been so displaced and broken apart. And we did some work in leprosy camps and some work in some schools. But just seeing the people and what they went through, but how they came together and loved on each other and supported each other. They were just very resilient. And I just saw how hardworking they were, how caring they were. And I think on my first trip there through The Amazing Race, I was just kind of in culture shock. But on this trip, I could just really see India for truly what the country is and what the people are. And I just fell in love and just saw how much God loved those people, and I should too.
And you talk about how God changed your heart in your new book, He Knows Her Name, An Amazing Pursuit to Adopt from India. So spoiler alert,
yeah,
you ended up adopting from India.
Yeah. Well, it's actually through that very same trip, because we were doing so much work in orphanages. I was in a home one night where a family had adopted 15 girls. And they weren't an orphanage, but they had just had that mission that they were going to rescue some girls from the streets. And I just was hearing all their stories, and I just remember being in their living room, and I just knew that the Lord was telling me that I was going to adopt a little girl one day. And what's funny about that is I wasn't married or anything. And so this was just something that really just kind of birthed in my heart very early on. And in time, we pursued it, and now we have our little gift.
Oh, and you had me in tears yesterday. I was watching the video of the first, I'm going to cry just thinking about it, the first time you saw Lila.
Yep.
What was going through your mind?
Well, now you're going to make me cry, Allison. You know, it was really interesting because, like, the week before, I knew the time was getting close. And I actually had a dream of meeting her. And I dreamed that I gave her a necklace. And so I had to run out to a store and try to find something that I thought, you know, would be a necklace that I could give her. And so that morning while I was getting ready, I was just thinking about, you know, going to meet her. And I just wanted to have that special necklace for her. But it was just I write about it in the book because we had some things going on with the director of the orphanage right before we met her. And so we were really distracted because he was asking us some questions and we didn't know the answers. And so we were trying to get our agent on the phone and try to get some things worked out. And I turn around and there she is. And it was just, I don't even know how to describe it in words, but just to see her standing there after dreaming of her, you know, for so long. And then my husband was still on the phone and he had his back to her and I kept like poking him, you know, trying to get him to turn around. And finally I just left him and I ran over to Lila and just got down on my knees and she was so tiny. But we've just loved her all along. It's like she's always been a part of the family. And just to finally have her in our arms was obviously emotional and a teary experience. And it's just one I'll never forget.
Yeah, you say a part of your family. How big is your family?
It's pretty big. I like to tell people we took Lila from one orphanage and put her in our orphanage. But we have 5 children, so we're just a family of 7. And I would keep growing that number if my husband will get on board.
And we're so excited to have Lila here this morning with us, and she's
hi?
absolutely adorable.
Say hi.
Oh, she is so sweet. Thank you guys so much for being with us this morning.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
How old is Lila, by the way?
7.
7 years old. Are you having fun?
Say yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Kelly is also driving around her hometown right now, showing Lila everything.
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw Mommy's old school?
What did you think?
Was it cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's nodding her head yes. Kelly McCorkle Parkison, thank you so much. Love the book and grateful that you spent some time with us this morning.
We have one surprise for Allison that we would,
Oh.
if we have time, we'd
Okay.
love to give Allison a big surprise because our family sees Allison do all kinds of things for other families and serving. And Lila made her a card, but our organization that my husband and I started is called Loft 218. It stands for the least of these, and we're building an orphanage in India. But one of our missions is to be generous and to give back, and so we wanted to help the Lowrys with their adoption as well. So we just have a small gift for them. And
That's so sweet.
Too much.
no.
It's too much, but thank you.
Wow, yeah. Allison, if you don't know, is going through an adoption journey herself, and so she's been raising money to actually accomplish that. And you gave, and that's so much. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Wow, I'm speechless, but thank you. And just watching what you've gone through is so inspiring to us. So thank you.
well, thanks for having us.